You're on.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Monday night call. Now that we're running about 5 minutes late, we've got a lot of people on the line, so I'm excited to see you. Tonight's a real special call because we're going to delve into the work of Eric Worre and how to become a professional in this industry. Eric Worre wrote a book several years ago called Go Pro. And it's changed the mindset of being an entrepreneur within this industry. Let me tell you a little bit about Eric Worre first. He's an entrepreneur for sure. He's an author, and he's the creator of the GoPro Mastery Seminars, which attracts, I'm going to tell you, thousands of distributors and partners from hundreds of companies from around the world. And let me tell you, he is a network marketing professional. And that's why this little book is so important, because it teaches you and me how to be professional. You know, 26 years ago, I started saying, because my mentor taught me that to be successful in this business, you needed to develop some skills and some habits, and we can all do that. And so if Eric Worre was sitting with us tonight, the first thing he would ask is, would you help me to create, what does the perfect business look like? And he said, it doesn't matter where the audiences are or what company they're from. Everybody always comes up first with what they don't want in business. And people always say the same things. They don't want a boss, no commute, no alarm clock, no employees, no politics, no compromises, no discrimination, and no educational requirements. Those are the no's. What everybody agrees upon about what would be like the ultimate business model is something positive, great product or service, unlimited income, residual income, enjoy the people that you work with, time freedom, something meaningful, personal growth, lots of perks, international, contribution to worthy causes, low risk, low startup costs, economy proof, tax benefits, and fun. Well, to me, that describes the Juice Plus business. Every one of those is found within our compensation plan, within our company. So tonight I asked one of our professionals, Rachel Barkley, from Mount Pleasant, Texas, to share with us tonight. First of all, Rachel is a professional. She's a leader within our industry. She's the wife, she's the mom, an amazing yoga instructor. And so she's going to share with us some of the first points and the #1 skill from Eric Worre on how we go professional. Take it away, Rachel.
Thank you so much, Terri. Well, I'm excited and honored to share. So thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to kick it right off. Eric Worre introduces the book really with these 3 types of people that are involved in network marketing. And he starts with naming posers, amateurs, and then professionals. And I'm going to just kind of dive into what a poser kind of looks like, then an amateur, and then a professional. And then we're going to go into skill #1, which I'm super excited to teach on. So the posers treat this profession as a lottery ticket. They might have just a few people in mind when they start the business, and their mindset, I love that Terri said he really addresses so much of the mindset. And that's what I love as I've been reading this book, is it's a mindset shift. And we all want to shift our minds toward more of a professional, what it looks like to be a professional in network marketing. So their mindset is more, okay, if I can get these few people to say yes, then maybe I'll have a strong business, or maybe then, I'll make it. Maybe I'll be successful. And so I love that phrase, that they treat the profession kind of as a lottery ticket. I also love that Eric Worre shared that he kind of transitioned from each of these. So he went through a stage of being a poser, and then through a stage of being an amateur, and then found himself really looking into what does a professional look like in the network marketing career. he noted that posers can achieve some success within network marketing, but it's usually short term. And then maybe they have another list of 3 to 5 more people. And oftentimes it can be based on luck. It just may not get very far. And so we want to begin to transition from, okay, I don't want to stay in this poser category. I want to deepen what it looks like to go from poser to amateur to professional, or just skip right to professional. And I'm going to go a little bit more into what a poser looks like in skill 1 in a moment too. Okay, amateurs often focus still on getting lucky with that great customer or that great distributor that's just going to build their business for them. But they find themselves also focused on the wrong things. So he said that oftentimes amateurs are worried about, did I get into this business at the right time? Like, is the market over flooded with Juice Plus? Is this the best time? Should I join later? Or should I have done this earlier? They're worried about their position within the company. Maybe they're thinking, am I under the best upline? Do I need help from somebody else, somebody different? And that's not to say, we all can glean knowledge from everybody within this company, but we shouldn't be worried about our position. And then they're also focused on shortcuts. So he kind of shared his own experience with being an amateur was when he was beginning network marketing. He was in his 20s, and he said internet didn't exist for network marketing at that time. So he was looking for any shortcut. Put it in the newspaper, did that. Call the numbers in the phone book, did that. Go put signs up along the road. Do you guys remember? I remember growing up with those signs put on telephone poles and seeing those and wondering what those were about. He's like, check, did that. So he was just looking for what's the shortcut way to do this. And he said, can you imagine if internet had existed, I would have just pasted, my product everywhere. And so the other thing that I love about diving into a lot of these books that teach skills on network marketing is that I feel so much more rooted and grounded that Juice Plus is a company that is really instilling the best business practices. And I love that. Like, I see that as we go through each of these. So if you'll go ahead and go to professionals, we're going to chat about that for a minute. And then we'll go into skill number 1. Okay, so what is a network marketing professional? Eric Worre says it's a person who is an expert at the skills that are required to build a large and successful network marketing organization. Okay, so an expert at the skills required. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I always need to be growing in my skill level, right? It's a constant process. I definitely don't. Thank you, Terri, for calling me a professional. I don't feel like I'm a professional there yet, but I think that when we're constant learners and we learn as we go, then we are working in the right direction. He said that we want to marry passion with skill. So we hear that phrase, ignorance on fire is better than fire on ice. And that just goes to say, it's better to be super passionate, even if you don't know a whole lot, but then to be super smart, but really be apathetic. So he gave the example of a doctor. I don't know how many of you guys want a doctor coming into your waiting room and saying, oh, I'm so excited to help you today. I don't know a whole lot yet, but I'm excited to just check you out and see, I'm super passionate about helping people. Yeah, I may not know, and so we want doctors who have the knowledge. And on the flip side, I always think of my representatives underneath me and my team that I'm coaching. Like, I'm always telling them, do not think you have to know it all. So what does it look like to not just be ignorance on fire? Because I want them to share from their passion and their heart, and they don't have to know it all. It means that we're constantly growing, we're constantly learning, we're constantly diving in. So he said, why can't we have both? Why can't we be passionate and work to acquire skills? So that's really where that's the foundation of this book. And he sets out to guide us through 7 different skills. And I'm just teaching on skill number 1 today. And that is finding quality people to prospect. That's a skill. He said himself, like it took him a long time to realize that that's actually a skill that people who are successful in network marketing, they have that skill, the ability to find quality people to prospect. So let's dive into what that looks like for a poser. How does a poser approach prospecting? Okay. They might make a mental list of 3 to 5 people who they hope will join their business, and the future of their business just rests on them. And then they also approach prospecting as luck. So here's what I find really interesting. 80% of the people who dive into network marketing approach their business as posers to start out with. And that has me just sitting here like, wow, if we were to take this information and really take the time to teach our team how to work toward being professional network marketers, 80%, y'all, what would that do for our business, for our teams, for their businesses, and for their growth? I think that this entire skill set is something that we really need to take seriously. And it's so simple. It's so doable. That's what I love. So the other thing that I want to note about the posers, don't worry about going back, Terri, but I think that it's really easy. Like I kind of felt convicted about that because I don't think that I started out with just 3 to 5 people who I hoped would join as customers or anything like that. I just really have always been open to sharing wide. But when we're building team, I think it's hard, or it's really easy to get stuck in that mentality. Like I'm going for QNMD, so I need, 3 to 5 sales coordinators, now qualifying senior sales coordinators. And so I'm just going to rest on these 3 to 5 people. And so we as people who are building our businesses, we hear over and over, we want to go wide, but this really explains the why behind it. And so I think that we can kind of get into the poser mentality with building team as well. And I just wanted to make that note. Okay. Amateurs move from this small mental list of maybe just having their 3 to 5 people going around in their brain to a written list. They may make a written list of 100 people, and we have memory joggers, right? That Juice Plus corporate has, and our uplines are always constantly saying, like, are you using your memory jogger? Do you have people written down? And again, I'm a why person. I like to know, okay, well, why am I doing that? And so this whole chapter, I was like, oh, I love this. Okay, so, but amateurs, their biggest fear and their focus is, what am I going to do when I run out of those 100? Maybe they've started to share their product with, or we're starting to share Juice Plus with people, and we see the no's coming in, and my 100 list people is quickly declining. And so then I'm just feeling like, okay, I'm going to fail at this. It's not going to happen for me. Off to the side there, it says amateurs often view their lists of prospects as their ticket to wealth. So they're still somewhat relying on that list of people to be their success. Okay, let me just make a note. Let me just pause and make sure I'm not missing anything, because I'll move on and kick myself for not saying something. So, here, Eric Worre shares that in his 20s, he had no market. So he starts network marketing and doesn't even have anybody to talk to. So he used his parents' contacts. And he said this happened, like quickly that declined, and he just felt like his business was going to fail. It never occurred to him that finding quality people to prospect is a skill. Okay, so that's our goal here. We're trying to get that into our mind. Finding quality people to prospect, that's a skill. Okay, so what do professionals do with prospecting? And I also want to provide a side note. I think that the term prospecting, when I started like kind of going through this and planning this, can really like depersonalize the person in front of you. But for lack of a better term, that's where we're going. And I think that as you kind of listen through these trainings, you're going to see Eric's heart in really caring for the people in front of him. And so don't let that just totally like I'm a person that words matter. And when I hear words that like don't sound super sensitive, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I like that. So don't let it totally turn you off. Okay. So how professionals view prospecting. They approach finding people to talk to as a core skill. They also have an active candidate list. So they have a continually growing list, and they have a focused commitment to add to that list. I love that on the side that it's actually their job description. They consider that their job description. So where does Eric Worre get this? He actually started interviewing large and successful organizations and how they approached their business. And all of them had this in common, that finding people was a core skill of their business. And it was part of the job description. I don't know if you joined into network marketing knowing that and thinking that, but the fact that it's a skill is super encouraging to me. It means that, okay, Terri, Luongo, and David Beavers, who are super successful within the Juice Plus company, they're not just there by luck. They're not just there because they had this magic list of people. They're there because they did the work and they acquired the skills. And so if I take the ability to be coachable and I take the time to learn them too, I can do this. I can do this too, right? It's not dependent upon some magical list. Okay, so let's see. Hold off. Let me see, just a minute. Yeah, you can go to the next slide. We're going to go into mastering the skill of finding quality people to prospect, but I love this. So Eric Worre actually referenced another network marketer and author, Harvey Mackay. And so get this, at the age of 18, Harvey's father sat him down and told him, starting today and for the rest of your life, I want you to take every person that you meet, get their contact information, and find a creative way to stay in touch. He has done that for 60 years. And today his list of friends, not just prospects, friends totals more than 12,000 people. They're not just social media friends, they are real friends. So I just love that because so a lot of this training comes with awareness, and it may be overwhelming to you to think of how in the world would I find that many people? But it's just like one day at a time, being aware of the people around you. So we're going to go through how we begin to adapt this as a skill. We've got 4 steps, and we're going into step number 1. Okay. Make your list as comprehensive as possible. So your memory jogger, do you have one? Emptying, this is what I love because I have memory joggers. I have several, like they're out randomly all over my house. I don't know. And this organization is a problem of mine. So I'm working to try to consolidate and get them all on one spot where I can go through them and manage them appropriately. If you're using Teensy, that's a great resource. So I love this why. Emptying your mind onto paper will create room for new contacts. Because that's where I sat a lot of the time is I see the people out in front of me. I want to invite so-and-so to this and so-and-so to that. And I get overwhelmed and then I feel paralyzed. I'm like, oh, I don't even know where to start. I need to message, but I need to message. And then I'm totally distracted. So that why behind keeping your memory jogger out in front of you, emptying your brain, so just brain dumping. Like that's so good. Okay. So think through family, friends, organizations, everything you've done. Have you volunteered at your kid's school? Have you done, like just different projects? Have you gone to and taken different classes? Like one of the skills I want to learn is woodworking. So if I go and learn woodworking, am I writing down those names of people? They're new people in my life. Organizations, moms groups, Bible studies, everybody just goes on to this page or this list. I'm looking right over here at my poster board. I have this huge poster board and I started consolidating all my memory jogger onto sticky notes, and each sticky note holds 10 people so that I can work on touching base with those 10 people one day, and then I can move them to the bottom of the poster board, and I can just constantly create this moving memory jogger and way to connect with people and touch base and just stay in their life. And so the other thing that you need to think through, because a lot of times when we start writing down people's names, we think, oh, they wouldn't be interested in Juice Plus. Never mind, not writing them down. That's not what this is. This is everybody goes on this memory jogger. Okay, everyone. Whether you decide to prospect them or not, that's up to you. But we're putting all of these names down, and we're finding creative ways to connect, creative ways to stay in touch. And I love this too, is that if you don't get like distracted by the number of people that you should have, it becomes apparent to you who else to add to the list as you make the list. So just start, because you will begin to grow that list. Okay. Remember, our goal is to find quality people to prospect. So step 2, expand your list. He talked about, you look at your list and you think about, okay, who do those people know? Who does my mom know? Who does my cousin know? My best friend, who does she know? Just expanding the circle, adding those names to your list as well. Really, what we're going to take from this is we're going to combine this into the next several weeks. And so I'm not going to talk a ton about what to do with this list, except to take pressure off toward the end of this talk, but just work on the list. Okay, step 3, simple enough so far, right? Step 3, set a goal to add at least 2 or more people to the list every day. So that's what he said, like the professionals have that goal, at least 2 or more added to the list every day. That's where awareness really comes in. You go to the grocery store, think through who you came into contact with at the grocery store. You go to the bank, think through who you're coming into contact with. He said, professionals develop a higher level of awareness. They pay attention to the world. They know they will be introduced to new people all the time. Posers and amateurs don't even notice.
Wow.
Okay, so it's like, are you noticing the amount of people around you? Just become more aware. And this is why professionals never worry about running out of people. They're not banking on 3 or 5 people. They're not just hoping they're going to get lucky. And I find that as I build wider and wider, the pressure is off my shoulders and off my team's shoulders and off my customers' shoulders to be anything, right? They get to be who they want to be, and I can help them grow into that. But I'm not putting pressure on them to get to a certain level. Step 4, network on purpose. Okay, so he encourages us to not just sit at home, not be just a total recluse, but get out there, start something that you have been wanting to start. Join a gym. Go to, like, I have a baby right now and a 5-year-old and a 13-year-old, but eventually I'm going to join a woodworking class and I'm going to learn how to work with wood and build things, you know, and that's going to expand my network to a group of people that I've never met before. So just think through, like, what are those things that you've always wanted to do, and start doing them. You're going to expand your network. Okay. So, because I know we're really short on time, here is where one of my favorite things about next week. So first of all, that's super simple. It seems like that's too easy, almost like, really, that's a skill. But the question is, are you doing it? I don't think you can count it off as not being a skill unless you're doing it. And then if you're doing it, you might realize how much of a skill it is and how much of a needed skill it is in order to grow your business and grow your network. And then he moves into skill number 2. And skill number 2, this is kind of just a preview for next week, is going to discuss inviting prospects to take a look at your business, or to take a look at your product, either or both, and to understand. So our job is to educate them, to provide them with resources so that they get a good education, a good sense of knowing about what we offer, and they can make an educated decision as to whether or not it's a fit for them. So I loved this analogy. It said, we as professional network marketers are to approach people not as hunters, but as farmers. So hunters tend to pinpoint someone and hunt them down, right? And just try to keep, and at the same time, like, we have to be persistent, but we don't need to try to make somebody feel like we are trying to just make a sale, right? Farmers cultivate a relationship. They do the deep work of planting seeds and watering them and deepening the relationship. And then when there is, we heard this at conference over and over, when there's a pain point mentioned or a need expressed, we don't shy back from just sharing, you know, like, have you considered Juice Plus? It might be a solution for you. We don't shy back from that, but we've done all this deep undergrowth, I don't even know if that's a term, but of deepening friendship, relationship, and building trust. So the next slide says just the conclusion, make the choice to go pro and teach your team to do the same. So if we took this seriously and really worked with people to get them out of that mindset of just being posers or just being amateurs, I think most people want to be pros, right? So take that seriously. And that's all I've got for tonight. No, it's the end of time.
And Rachel, that's spot on. That's spot on. And you know what? Until I read GoPro, I didn't know that expanding your memory jogger list was a skill until I heard Eric Worre expand on it. And you did such a great job. And, you know, guys, this network marketing business, I was listening to Gordon Hester, and Jamie, you posted on your team page the interview with Gordon Hester the other day. And he said that network marketing is now in 71 different markets, 71 different markets. Network marketing generates over $200 billion of sales annually. That network marketing is represented by 190 million partners or representatives around the world. It is truly, truly, truly business of the future. So this kind of training about being a professional, number one, it enhances your self-esteem. It changes your position and how you speak to people and approach people. It's an important concept. So before next week, I want you guys to come to our call next week with a serious list of names. And we are going to delve into some incredible activity to help you move forward in becoming a professional. So thank you so much, Rachel. I so appreciate your sharing tonight. I know everybody did. It's 8:30. I know you have other calls to jump on. So thanks for being with us tonight.
Thanks, Terri.
Peace and blessings. Have a sweet evening. Stay warm. Stay warm. Hey, and if I can do this business, obviously I have shown you tonight, anybody can do this business. I might have some new skills to master. Talk to you later. Peace and blessings.